Russian charter flight with 6 people crashes in Afghanistan. Tens of thousands protest in Hamburg, Germany. Flames seen shooting out of Boeing 747. Pakistan carries out military strikes on separatist targets in Iran. Thailand sentences man to record 50 years in prison. Japan became 5th country to reach the moon.
Hello, I'm Johnny. Thank you for joining us on Funday News. It's Monday, January 22nd, and here are your top stories. Russian aviation authorities said on Sunday a Russian registered plane with 6 people thought to be on board disappeared from radar screens over Afghanistan the previous night, after local Afghan police said they had received reports of a crash. Russian news outlet SHUT reported about 25 minutes before the plane vanished from the radar screens. The pilot warned that fuel was running low and that the plane would try to land at an airport in Tajikistan. The pilot then reported that one engine had stopped and then that the second one had also stopped.
Russian aviation authorities said in a statement, the plane was a charter ambulance flight traveling from Thailand's Utapao airport in Pattaya to Moscow via India and Uzbekistan on a French-made Dassault Aviation Falcon 10 jet manufactured in 1978. The flight was carrying out a private medical evacuation from Thailand's Pattaya, a popular tourist destination for Russians, to Moscow. The Afghan provincial police spokesperson said in a statement the crash had taken place overnight in a remote, mountainous region of Badakhshan in Afghanistan's far north.
Tens of thousands of people gathered Friday in Hamburg for a demonstration against the far right, and organizers said the protest was ended early because the mass of people led to safety concerns. The event in Germany's second biggest city appeared to be the biggest yet in a string of protests that has grown over the past week. They follow a report that extremists is recently met to discuss the deportation of millions of immigrants, including some with German citizenship. In Hamburg, police said that some 50,000 gathered on a lakeside promenade Friday afternoon, while organizers put the figure at 80,000 and said many people weren't able to squeeze into the venue.
Hamburg Mayor Peter Tschentscher told the crowd, the message to AfD and its right-wing networks is, "We are the majority and we are strong because we are united and we are determined not to let our country and our democracy be destroyed for a second time after 1945, the year of Nazi Germany's defeat." AfD has sought to distance itself from the extremist meeting, saying it had no organizational or financial links to the event, that it wasn't responsible for what was discussed there and members who attended did so in a purely personal capacity. Still, one of AfD's co-leaders has parted company with an advisor who was there, while also decrying the reporting itself. More demonstrations against the far right are planned in German cities over the weekend.
A Boeing 747 cargo plane made an emergency landing Thursday night after it was seen spewing flames in the night sky over Miami. The Federal Aviation Administration, which is already investigating Boeing after an Alaska Airlines flight was forced to make an emergency landing when a door plug fell off the fuselage mid-air this month, said in a statement Friday that it will look into the latest incident on an Atlas Air flight. The airline said in a statement that Flight 5Y095, headed for Luis Munoz Marin International Airport in Puerto Rico, landed safely after experiencing an engine malfunction soon after departure from Miami International Airport.
Oh my God, it's on fire!
On Friday, a source familiar with the investigation said that the preliminary examination of the Atlas Air engine revealed a softball-sized hole above the number 2 engine. Atlas Air ships a variety of cargo from perishables to heavy construction equipment. It also arranges large group passenger charters for celebrities or dignitaries. The incident in Miami is the latest in a history of issues involving Boeing. The news comes 2 weeks after the Alaska Airlines flight incident, which prompted the FAA to ground certain Boeing 737 MAX 9 planes across the U.S. that move thrust the nation's air travel into chaos and caused numerous flight cancellations. Inspections of 40 of the 171 grounded planes have been completed, the FAA said Wednesday.
Pakistan carried out a series of deadly military strikes on what is said were separatist militant hideouts inside Iran, in the latest incident across their shared border that has sent tensions between the two neighbors soaring. The new strikes mean both Pakistan and Iran have now taken the extraordinary step of attacking militants on each other's soil this week, at a time of expanding conflict in the Middle East and wider region. Islamabad said Thursday its forces launched a series of highly coordinated and specifically targeted precision military strikes in Iran's southeastern Sistan and Balochistan province.
It said the hideouts targeted in the operation were used by the Baluchistan Liberation Army, BLA, and the Baluchistan Liberation Front, BLF, two militant groups fighting for greater regional autonomy. In a separate statement on Thursday, the BLF said it does not have any hideouts in Iran and that no BLF fighters had been killed in recent attacks. The BLA has not yet commented publicly on Pakistan's strikes on Iranian territory. A number of militants were killed during the operation, Pakistan's foreign ministry added. Both Pakistan and Iran have long fought militants in the Restiv Balak region along their 900-kilometer border, but the latest incident marks a major escalation between the two neighboring powers and comes as regional hostilities in the Middle East mount over Israel's ongoing war in Gaza.
According to a legal rights group, a Thai appeal court last Thursday extended a man's prison sentence to a record 50 years for insulting the monarchy, in what is believed to be the toughest penalty ever imposed under the country's draconian lèse-majesté law. Munko Turakat, 30, an online clothes vendor and political activist from northern Chiang Rai province, was originally sentenced in 2023 to 28 years in prison for social media posts deemed damaging to the king. On Thursday, the Court of Appeal in Chiang Rai found Munko guilty of about a dozen more violations of the royal insult law and added 22 years to his sentence.
Thailand has some of the world's strictest lèse-majesté laws, and criticizing the king, queen, or heir apparent can lead to a maximum 15-year prison sentence for each offense, which makes even talking about the royal family fraught with risk. Sentences for those convicted under Section 112 of Thailand's Criminal Code, our lèse-majesté law, can be decades long, and hundreds of people have been prosecuted in recent years. Mongkol, also known as Busbus, was arrested in April 2021 over 27 posts he made on Facebook during March and April that year. A criminal court found him guilty of 14 violations of lèse-majesté and sentenced him in January 2023 to 28 years. It is not clear what the content of the posts contained.
Early Saturday, Japan became the fifth country in history to reach the moon when one of its spacecrafts without astronauts successfully made a soft landing on the lunar surface. However, space officials said they needed more time to analyze whether the smart lander for investigating Moon, or SLIM, achieved its mission priority of making a pinpoint landing. They also said the craft's solar panel had failed to generate power, which could shorten its activity on the moon. Space officials believe that the SLIM's small rovers were launched as planned and that the data was being transmitted back to Earth. Japan follows the United States, the Soviet Union, China, and India in reaching the moon.
The project was the fruit of 2 decades of work on precision technology by Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, JAXA. SLIM, nicknamed the Moon Sniper, started its descent at midnight Saturday, and within 15 minutes it was down to about 10 kilometers above the lunar surface. JAXA has said, the spacecraft was testing technology to allow moon missions to land where we want to, rather than where it is easy to land. The spacecraft also was supposed to seek clues about the origin of the moon, including analyzing minerals with a special camera. The SLIM, equipped with a pad each on its 5 legs to cushion impact, was aiming to land near the Scioli crater, near a region covered in volcanic rock.
The answer for last Friday was A, controversy. The proposed cuts have caused considerable controversy. Did you answer correctly? Now let's delve into the news of Japan became 5th country to reach the moon. Number 1, pinpoint. 准确的，动词是明确的指出位置或时间。The report pinpointed the areas most in need of help. Number 2, transmit. 传送发射. The ceremony was transmitted live by satellite to over 50 countries. Number 3, priority, 优先事项，最重要的事. Our first priority is to improve standards. Next, we have a multiple choice question for everyone to practice. Which answer would you choose? You can write your answer in the comment section. The correct answer will be announced tomorrow. And that's all for today's Funday News. Be sure to tune into Funday News from Monday to Friday and click the link below to join Funday for free. I'm Johnny Wu, your host. I'll see you next time.